Welcome back to Gatekeeper Media's coverage of the 2023 Jonesboro Open. This is the final round back nine chase card, and I'm Andrew Fish, joined here by Nathan Queen.
And if you watch the front nine, you saw a lot different style of golf than we saw the first two rounds. If you didn't watch the front nine, go ahead and do that before you get here. A lot less birdies though, a few more bogeys.
Yeah, variety on the color of the scorecard here. A couple of bogeys added in. Isaac Robinson, a clean 4 down, moving him into a tie for 6th place. Nathan, this back nine has some scoring opportunities, but also some potential for weird things to happen.
Yeah, just like the front nine, more holes that play a lot harder compared to days before. And as you see, scoreboard is still tight, possible to make a push for that win with enough birdies.
Hole 10, 360 feet, a low ceiling initially, and then a high floor as you approach circle 2. The island on the right is kind of the most dead spot. You don't want to be there. I imagine we'll see backhands thrown to try to drift and get a counter skip. Possibly forehands, but that would only be out of maybe Kyle and or Emerson.
I am surprised that we haven't seen more forehands on this hole this year. Players really dialing in that backhand turnover shot. Plus, I do think this one was limbed up a little bit and makes it a little bit easier or cleaner to get that backhand turnover in there.
Gorgeous example of such by Isaac Robinson. This one's a little early by Kyle. Going to get trapped on the log, but that should be in a layup zone rather than having to punch through the woods.
And here is that forehand from Emerson. Going to really be looking to keep this on one angle, moving down the left side of the fairway.
And come on, baby, finish.
Yeah, it did stand up on him rather than keeping that one angle on a hyzer, but he did skip to right around circle's edge. He might have a look, but pretty sticky in there.
Yeah, it's hard to say. He's in circle 1, so I imagine he's going to try to put it in the basket, but the cedars may dictate whether he's got a credible look. Bradley also turning over early. And has to go to the forehand.
Oh boy, this looks like a trouble spot here.
Yeah, you see the really severe angle he's putting on it, playing for some ground play.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
And we'll have to make a putt, but inside the circle.
Kyle gonna get a little sneaky through one of these gaps here. Slides up there nicely just outside the bullseye.
And unfortunately, Emerson splashing out.
Oh, it's still going. Look at how slowly that is rolling away.
Wow.
All the way to the other side. Outside the circle again. And just the same way he missed the first putt, just a little bit left.
Isaac Robinson, unfazed, going to capture the lone birdie on the card.
Yeah, he's made a push to tied for 4th now. On a very strong pace as Bradley Williams able to card a par after taking his first bogey of the round on hole 9.
It's easier said than done to, keep a clean sheet today and not put yourself in trouble where you have to make par putts. Every player is going to kind of give you those sports cliches.
Just 20% of the field taking a birdie on this hole today. I think kind of a headwind right to left really causes that right-handed backhand a lot more difficulty to make that corner. Moving into hole 11, 560, swirling wind, kind of a headwind right to left. Again, you want to make this gap, move a little bit to the left. We've seen players getting pretty aggressive here rather than just kind of going for the standard 2 shots that the hole requires.
Looks like FX2 out of Isaac Robinson, thrown high. Going to get that leftward drift, but kind of buried in the shoal. Kyle Klein looking for a little high trajectory, it appears. And trying to get some wind help. Maybe push all the way over that island. It might be possible today.
This is that aggression that I don't quite understand for this hole. It plays on the easier side of the day, you know, or the easier side of the holes for the course. And this is all you need to do, you know. Bradley didn't. That's not an extremely hard shot.
And he's not trying to solve the problem with overstability either. He just coasted a medium distance driver out there.
Yeah, so I'm not sure I understand the aggression. I haven't seen it work out for anybody yet.
We can tell you how to do it, but we can't make good decisions for you.
And this looks pretty good from Emerson. Although he threw that harder, that's not the type of aggression I'm speaking about. He didn't throw it way up in the air trying to get around the corner. He just put a little more on it. And has actually pinched himself off a bit more than what we saw there from Bradley.
Kyle Klein having to go. I think the intention was a roller. He'll now have a layup for his 4. And Isaac Robinson just trying to pitch out. Can't even do that right.
Bradley, on the other hand, standing cleanly in the fairway. Now standing cleanly in circle 1. Going to have a nice birdie look.
Yeah, very well executed there. And a rare sighting here. Isaac Robinson going to the forehand.
And it came out pretty clean.
Yeah, clearly he's got it when he needs it. Nicely done.
Wow. Nice par scramble after moving only about what seemed to be 30-40 feet on the second shot.
Oh, yeah. Keith going to go very high and stally.
And although that's pretty close to the basket, he could be dealing with those low branches. Kind of pesky.
I think a really good design and maintenance choice here is that this hole is pretty short, it's pretty simple, it's pretty accessible, but they've made the right and left sides challenging at the green. You really want to be squared up with the basket in the gap.
As Bradley shows you, easy birdie. Emerson trying to down to a knee to the left of those branches, and third putt in a row, gonna hit Chain's left side. That's gotta be frustrating.
Yeah, he'll probably be counting those on the drive home. Kyle Klein in for his par. Isaac Robinson to do the same.
Yeah, Kyle's just been parring along for a bit now, which on a day like today, that's not a bad thing. It's gonna keep you right there in it.
Hole 12, par 4 at 655 feet. You need to clear this OB ditch or lay up short of it. I doubt we'll see any of the players on our card do that. And then the basket tucked over a knoll on a pretty severe downslope. Wind was generally playing with a right to left headwind. Very difficult to get the correct blend of flip and ride and carry, as elevator up for Bradley Williams, still pushing forward.
And that's a great tee shot for hole 12 today, as we saw over 60% of the field birdie at the first round, over 50% of the field birdie at the second round. You got a guess for this one?
I bet it's 25 at best.
Again, you are too high, sir. Only 15% of the field able to card a birdie on this one today. Isaac Robinson is not going to be one of those, as he's out of bounds off of the tee. Going to be looking for a par at best, which will be difficult to do from short of that OB.
Yeah, he'll have to go backhand turnover to a blind basket. And I think I called the wind direction incorrectly. It's going to be left to right head, which is what was dragging those discs over and or lifting them. Kyle Klein, well to keep it low, kind of cut it through the wind. And Emerson Keith, if anything, the intensity is bigger now. A lot of wind in the background.
Yeah, headwind on this hole really making it play a lot harder to get across this OB. This is going way to the left. Gonna end up catching that tree that's in that OB. Oh my goodness. That is... The headwind blew it back in bounds.
Yeah, he's lost some strokes to the course. Now he's found one.
Yeah, he got one back right there. For sure. I don't think I've ever seen a disc hit that tree and fall in bounds.
Still pretty far back. Does decently to get the forehand to the top of the hill. But that is automatic layup territory unless he's got a death wish and a rollaway wish. Isaac, kind of a low-driven turnover. Not going to clear the hill. Also in that same unpleasant territory.
Yeah, that's auto bogey for him. That being his third shot after going OB.
Klein with the backhand.
Trying to give it the right touch.
And reasonably well done. And I really like that both Kyle and Bradley threw straight putters, not trying to go too overstable, let the disc kind of float down rather than spike into the hill.
Yeah, spiking is made for rollaways here on hole 12's green. Gotta land it flat, no matter really where you're throwing from.
And a good layup. Kyle looking to break his par streak. Long downhill run.
Oh boy, and tough to commit to those. You know, your brain is telling you to, but it's telling your body otherwise.
But a really good par comebacker.
And parring along. Keep it up and the birdies will come. Emerson. That one not as far left as others.
Still unable to stick, and he will card another bogey. Bradley, good birdie.
Cool. I want to give a shout out to Prodigy Discs. I wouldn't be out here on the road without their help. I want to thank 1010 as well, a local Memphis retailer. They've been great. I've loved being able to work with them. And I want to shout out Double G Craft Ricky as well. Thank you guys.
Hole 13, 353-foot par 3. You've got the drone flight here, low-driven hyzer shot. Get it to skip up to the green and hopefully not roll back down. You've also got a left gap that people have started to throw with a right-handed backhand this year. I think that's new to this year. Kind of get a stand-up to drift it to the right. Keeps you up this hill.
Bradley with a good angle, but just no speed on that shot. Going to come up pretty short. Klein swinging a hyzer. I like this. This is driven. It's on an angle to skip. And actually goes long.
Yeah,
that's rare.
It is rare to go long, and uses that log as a backstop to keep it from rolling away. A lot of the distance that you can get on this hole will then roll away down to that hill if you have too much speed, or down to that wood line. Oh.
And if you throw it too good and hit the base, you can also roll back to circle's edge.
I really hope he makes that putt. That's oh man, I got nothing.
Yeah, you got to imagine that somebody in the crowd told him what happened at some point. But if this is your first time seeing this, Isaac, boy, we're right there with you on wondering how.
Bradley with a long look here, 48, 46 feet.
Tough crosswind to manage.
Just low, but does get a good sit. Nice to tap in a par after hitting the cage.
Yeah, it seems like Bradley's kind of lived just low today. Couple more putts fall, and he might be thinking, 7 down. Isaac with the stepper, so casual.
Yeah, no matter. Doesn't matter if he hit the base and rolled 40 feet. Gonna make his 2-putt either way. Nice bounce back after the bogey on hole 12.
And Kyle from about 20 feet. Well done. Spears it high and centered. And Emerson just can't find the center. Also on the left side again.
Yeah, also another round of kind of right there with Bradley, what could be lots of change so far for Emerson.
You got to think at this point it's kind of in his head. Hole 14, we're going big downhill shot. Little bit of a tailwind, maybe a lot of bit of tailwind depending on the time. Basket perched on a log to be a little bit elevated, and very critical to position yourself in the center of this gap. Again, directionally specific. Distance drivers were the operative throw here the first day, second day as well, and now you can certainly disc down. Kyle gets a crazy wind drop.
Yeah, I saw this quite a bit today. Those understable discs that you're trying to throw because of the tailwind. If you just get it over just a little bit, there's a slight right to left that'll just pack it straight down. And happened to Kyle there. Now going to be trying to scramble for a bogey.
Robinson is going to throw overstable to that right side and keeps it high enough for long enough. Wow, what a shot.
Yes, sir. Going to be inside circle 1. Looking for a birdie. And like you said, choosing that overstable. Not sure if he would have changed his disc after what he saw from Kyle, but definitely a way to combat that big drop we saw.
Yeah, a little flirty with the right side branches hanging over the out of bounds, but still, you're in the circle. Let's go get another one. Bradley may try to follow that or play the drifting left to right shot. This looks like it's going to catch up pretty early, and Heiser's to the left.
Yeah, also got some of that drop once his disc turned over, drifting right, but stable enough to come back out.
We saw a highlight putt from Emerson on the Saturday round. He's going to throw, I think, the same disc, but with the tailwind, it won't get that late turn. And he fades out to the left side. Going to be a difficult scramble from there.
Yeah, and this did play as the 5th hardest hole on the course today, with 20% of the field taking bogey or worse. So that wind really causing this OB to come into play. A lot more bogeys today.
Kyle Klein takes a little bit of relief after his out-of-bounds shot and then comes up short. Going to have to still make a putt for his 4.
Nice little scramble shot through the woods there from Emerson. You never know what's going to happen once you release. You just hope you can get through.
Same deal for Bradley. Inside circle 2, but no credible way to make it. Kyle for 4. Wow.
Catches some foliage on the way there, but has enough on it to still get it. That's a great bogey save, keeping him from falling closer to even par.
All right, nicely done. And Isaac for his 2. Once again, casual, even with the ripping tail crosswind that the flag is exhibiting.
Yeah, coming back strong after that bogey on 12. He's now in a tie for third. Hole 15, 270-foot par 3, still playing as the easiest hole on the course today. 64% of the field carding a birdie. Got kind of that same tailwind that you had on the last hole. A little more tunneled, so not quite as swirly as other parts on the course. Just got to make sure you land and don't skip too far left because of the extra stability.
As well as sloping down to the left. Good width management by Isaac Robinson. It looks like he's going to tap in another. And definitely going to see 4 right-hand backhand shots. No real other options, I don't think.
I didn't think so either today. My card, although I am left-handed, also saw 4 right-handed backhand shots today. And I'm happy to say I was able to card the birdie.
And so far, our first 3 making easy work.
Yeah, exactly what you want to see here, even with that ripping wind.
Kyle with a little straighter disc thrown on hyzer, and also climbing into that bullseye.
All right, Emerson's hits in the middle there. Gonna tap in his 2.
Hey everybody, Emerson Keith here with Team Lone Star. I wanted to let y'all know about my new tour series this year. I have the Bayonet, I have the Frio, I also have a BB6 that I don't have on me, but these are gonna come in the Founders plastic, and be on the lookout on the Lone Star website for these to come out. You won't want to miss it.
Kyle Klein stepping up for the birdie on 18.
Your Open champion, Gannon Burr.
Another record-setting weekend on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Back-to-back weeks. Winner coming from the chase card. Pretty special stuff. Gannon Burr, Kyle Klein, 2 young superstars on tour, showing you how to get it done.
Hole 16, an opportunity for a big rip. 855 feet as a par 5. Going to be playing into a headwind. Left and right directions also possible. Throw a big shot and you may have the opportunity to try to clear in 2. However, if you are unable to do so, you've got to lay up and then try to pitch across, and any out-of-bounds shots are going to go to a drop zone. There's a tree that's about 500 feet away that you need to be either pretty far left of or pretty far right of. Robinson going to play a hyzer flip, big and high to glide. This is going to get to the left enough. Is it far enough?
Yeah, that headwind holding him up quite a bit, pretty far back of that tree in the middle. A lot less distance off of the tee today. Not going to see as many get down there.
You see the lower rip penetrating better from Bradley Williams.
Yeah, never really moved left for him. Also didn't get as much distance as previous days, but did make it a bit farther than Isaac.
Emerson Keith, high and drifting to the right. This, I think, is getting much better distance, but also not quite swinging left enough. I think so far we're looking at layups for the second shot, which is challenging because of the downslope and because the layup zone is very congested.
Yeah, Kyle also trying that lower driven shot, but still lifting as it drives down the fairway. Does get more distance on it. Stays right of that tree. There might be an opportunity there to try to cross the water.
Looks like conservative backhand hyzer from Isaac Robinson, just trying to bite off 150, maybe 200 feet to set up another hyzer across.
All right, we got some more stat guessing for you. There was 36 eagles through the first 2 rounds. What is your guess for the amount today?
Oh, I bet it's single digits for sure. I'll say 5.
Closer than previous guess, but still lower. I won't give you the number yet. We've seen 3 layups.
Keith going to go with the forehand. And this has potential to get down closer to the water line, which is more favorable. And I think he's in a pretty good position to throw a direct shot at the basket from about 250.
Yeah, that's about as good as you can do that layup shot there. And Kyle is lining up to try to make it across.
Yeah, no layups here. This is kind of sinking as it carries, but does safely get across.
Yeah, he is inbounds and just below that little ridge there. Could be just inside or just outside the circle.
Bradley Williams lines up the hyzer. This will pass in front of the big oak. And also land safe. We'll be putting for 4.
So just 3.
Just 3.
There were 3 eagles on this hole today compared to 36 through the first previous 2. And Isaac Robinson playing for birdie very well there. He's going to be inside the circle looking for a 4.
Emerson managing his footwork well. Delivers a backhand straight at the bucket.
This has got to slow down.
Intentionally trying to use the backstop of the upslope and inside the circle looking at a 4. Kyle Klein for one of those eagles.
Oh, and again catching a branch. This one not quite enough on it to maintain and go in still. Looking for a nice tap-in birdie, though.
Yeah, it's a pretty good consolation in these conditions. Emerson can't get it over the rim. Going to take a 5. And Isaac Robinson currently in solo 3rd place. And look at that. 8 down on the round so far. Continuing to advance. Kind of running out of holes on the current leaders. You'll have to check other channels for that.
Yeah, still making a good move, though. 4 birdies in a row. As Bradley Williams can able to go back-to-back birdies, he's moved himself to 5 down now.
All right, so overall, pretty well played by our cart to go 3 down on hole 16.
Yeah, it did play over par today, 5.03. Moving into hole 17, 660-foot par 4. You'd like to land somewhere around here where you can see the basket. Going to be a bit more difficult today as you're still playing into that headwind off of the tee. Got some OB on the left, which could come more into play if you're trying to not overturn your disc. You could get a lift and drift over to the left. Gonna be harder to land in the middle of the fairway today.
Robinson throwing an overstable disc, drifting to the right. This looks like it's going to come out in front of the tree that's at 400 feet, and he will be looking at the basket with a turnover backhand from about 275.
Yeah, great shot. Didn't make it look any harder to land in the middle of the fairway.
Yeah, I think not trying to push the corner for Isaac is pretty critical. He's not trying to attack the basket so much as set himself up for an easy second.
Yeah, and Bradley's put in the middle but come up a bit short. Gonna be hard to attack the green from there. May be able to manufacture something and reach it, but likely to be looking at a par.
Kyle Klein continuing to drift. He went distance driver, so that will carry temporarily into the woods, but does come out. We'll see what kind of look that grants him. And the headwind, left to right cross makes this kind of difficult to manage. Emerson agrees, going to change his disc selection. And plays with a hyzer that goes right for a little bit and then out of bounds, as you called, floating to the left.
Yeah, looked like that second and third little drift he got might have been enough to keep him in bounds, but ends up drifting over there to the left side. Did go far enough. He's going to have an opportunity to reach the green from here and try to save his par.
This is about 370. Goes pretty far downhill and then pretty far to the right. Forehand, good jump. Brings him into the circle. Chance to save.
Oh, stop it.
Come on.
Now, I believe that puts him back out of the circle. Still with a chance to save. I think he's got a clean look.
Low ceiling for Bradley Williams.
And this needs to be really overstable. Yeah, it's pushed just a little bit long. Tough to get that big skip like that. That he was looking to get that kind of fish hook skip.
Yeah, like hovercraft and then catch edge. Robinson to 40 feet. Pretty vicious from there. And Kyle Klein looking high. Letting the stability of the disc glide it out. But stays high. That'll be, I think, near circle 2. I'm told Bradley made a similar putt in round 2, but this time gonna lay up.
Yeah, smart play today also. Easy to get away from this basket pretty quickly.
I think at this point a responsible player is monitoring their scores. We've got 3 players well inside the top 10, and 17 and 18 very challenging to birdie, so not expecting folks on their heels.
Yeah, 7 did average exactly at a 4 today, right at par. 26% of the field taking birdie, but 22% bogey or above. And not often do we see frustration like that from Isaac. He knows he's on a good run here, and that could have possibly put some pressure on the lead card.
Emerson airballs his 4 putt and will be coming back. Seemed like he took a little more time on that putt, and well done.
Yeah, able to sink it. Not the round that he's been looking for, but not far off at all.
Overall, a pretty good tournament. It's hard just to stay in the cash line on the Pro Tour nowadays. 2 rounds on coverage is still good for Emerson.
Yeah, still getting comfortable coming back from that rotator cuff injury.
And
no birdies on the card here.
That'll take us into hole 18, 818 feet, a par 4 initial gap shot with a couple other options available. It's very difficult to set yourself up in a good position to reach the green in 2. And the green is surrounded by out of bounds, sloping from left to right the entire way. I imagine we see hyzer flip out of Isaac Robinson.
Still the hardest hole on the course. Not quite by that third of a stroke the last 2 days.
There's that hyzer release, hugging the middle of the fairway. That's definitely a par position if he wants it. He may have the ability to test with a gap shot or big backhand hyzer to get a 3. Williams looks to follow it. Much slower release speed, just trying to control the spin through the initial gap. Drops fair.
I actually got that wrong. It's by more than a third of a stroke. Close to half a stroke.
Punishing finishing hole. Plenty of opportunities for stroke swings. Kyle, I like this. But does kick over to that left side.
Oh, no. And he's going to find some OB over there on the left side, too.
Emerson Keith, one last bayonet shot. And this is on the left side. We'll need some help.
And he drops down inbounds. He's short of that creek, but is going to be inbounds. Difficult to get a par from here, but if he can get some distance and get up short to that second cluster, or close to that second cluster, excuse me.
Yeah, he's about 600 feet away. I think the goal is bite off at least half of that, but unfortunately going to tap down in a terrible spot. Maybe not terrible, but a bogey spot.
Yes, definitely a bogey spot. He's got to try to go through the middle of that cluster of trees where that low branch is at, and very hard to get through there clean.
Bradley with a good golf play, pushes it to the middle, past the low branch. He'll have about 240 feet, kind of any line he wants from there. And Klein has one little inbounds tree to worry about. Takes his mark from where his disc fell out. And as aggressive as Kyle is, he may try to play the hyzer flip up the left side.
In previous years, that would have been inbound as well. This is the first year that they've moved that line off of the barbed wire fence over there.
Overall, probably a pretty good idea for player safety. Kind of lessen the ambiguity of where the barbed wire fence is as well. Good shot by Kyle. He'll have a chance to get up there and save his 5.
Here's that low branch that's actually a tree. I don't think it's a branch. It's actually a whole tree just leaning over. And he does get beneath it, but as you see, that high floor afterwards keeps him from reaching the basket.
And Isaac must really want this birdie.
Oh, this has got to get down. Does stay in bounds, but not going to be the birdie.
I like the idea there to throw the backhand. He needed to make up a couple strokes on the leaders and trying to squeeze a birdie while hoping that, something happens to one of them. His position is relatively secure.
Yeah, and very well played there from Bradley to get his par. A little out of position off of the tee, but 2 good shots executed afterwards gets him up and down. Same there from Kyle. Besides going OB, able to play it well after the tee shot.
Keith into the bullseye.
Yeah, 46% of the field taking bogey or worse on this one. That's almost as many people that took a par as 47% took par.
Isaac Robinson tries to take a little poke at a birdie, but will drop in a par. And relatively easy cleanups for our entire card. Once again, thank you so much for joining us on Gatekeeper Media. We'll have a little bit of outro here, but congratulations to these folks and another really well-run Jonesboro Open.
Absolutely so. Well run every year. We always get a neat little trinket, water bottle this year with their name on it. Thank you guys for doing that for us. I know I appreciate it. And there you have it. Our course playing 4 strokes harder today than the first 2 days.
That seems about right. And Isaac Robinson able to jump up into a several-player tie for second with his 8 down, 28 overall. Kyle Klein stays in that top 5 spot. Bradley, very nice top 5 as well. And
clean back 9 to get there. Emerson had a bit of struggles, but nice showing. Able to maintain chase card for 2 rounds. Take a look at our tour card standings.
Calvin Heimberg, pretty substantial lead in the overall points. This might be the year of Calvin.
Seems to be. Thank you guys for joining us out here in Jonesboro, Arkansas at the Disc Side of Heaven Disc Golf Course. It's been enjoyable watching and calling it for you guys. For Andrew Fish, I'm Nathan Queen. We'll see you guys out there.